The Lunaverse, Episode 27, Crisis on Two Equestrias by Rainbow Double Dash, Chapter 12, By the Light of the Magical Moon. Trixie's hose pounded on the earth beneath her as she ran as fast as her legs could carry her. She wasn't thinking at all, not the least of which when the Ursa Major roared again. Stevie had thought wasn't possible. She was relying totally on instinct, on the base desire to run with the herd of 3 other unicorns away from danger, hoping her superior speed would win out. Of course, when she made the mistake of glancing behind her, the Ursa Major came back on all 4 paws, making the earth shudder again, causing Trixie to stumble and fall over. She went into fright, and straight in stark terror as when the Ursa took a single step forward, 1 step, and instantly covered the hundreds of feet she had ran, while its massive paws led only a few scant feet from where she had fallen. Twilight! Trixie cried out for help as a deep blue aura wrapped around her and dragged her high in the air. Where's the maw, the Ursa Major? She screamed again, a scream that wasn't less than when she was dragged up and past the mouth to look into the blank eyes and too-wide smile of the pony controlling it. The pony reached out a hoof and tapped Trixie lightly on the muzzle in a way that was almost friendly. At least until her telekinesis pulled Trixie closer, pressed her to the bear's skull painfully, almost enough to begin suffocating Trixie, as the pony placed a hoof on her cheek and leaned down. Somehow, her smile grew even wider, to proportions Trixie was certain were unnatural. She let out another shriek of terror as the pony whispered into her ear. "What are you screaming for? I haven't even started killing you yet!" Lunamoon, Sparkle, and Twilight skidded to a halt when they heard Trixie cry out on Trixie's and Twilight's name. Turned around just in time to see her lifted at the top of the bear's head. "Oh no!" Twilight breathed. She was panting from running they had just done, as the other 2. "We had to help her!" "Why didn't she have the bear eat her?" Sparkle asked. Twilight and Lunamoon both turned to glare at her. "Really?" Lunamoon demanded. "You don't have to sound disappointed." "No, I mean," Sparkle said, as the 3 started running again, circling around the Ursa Major and using trees for cover. "That pony. She's going through all the effort to kill us. So why didn't she kill Trixie?" Lunamoon grimaced. Sparkle had a point, whether or not she wanted to admit it. "Earlier, she said she wanted to kill us all at the same time," she noted. "No," Twilight said, eyes swaying low. "No, I'm pretty sure she said, I'm pretty sure I have to. She doesn't want to, but she thinks she needs to." "Why?" Sparkle demanded. "Who cares?" Lunamoon demanded. "It gets us tied to Kappa!" The last came as the Ursa's gigantic paw came crashing down 100 feet of them, making the air shudder once more as trees were splintered like so many toothpicks. They began dragging across the forest floor towards them. It was hundreds of feet long. They were going to be able to dodge it, nor outrun it. Sparkle cried out, grabbing the other 2 unicorns in her hooves. She closed her eyes, and set her horn glowing. Lunamoon just had enough time to voice her rejection when the 3 of them popped out of existence. There was a rolling chaos between the space had become, and then they popped back into existence, tumbling and fumbling hard across into the branches and trees before finally coming to a stop. Lunamoon's head started spinning. "I thought we agreed that was a bad idea," she mumbled. "I don't think we had a choice," Sparkle said as he stood, looking around to get her bearings. It didn't take long. They spotted the Ursa Major only a few hundred feet away. Though they were now behind it, it reared up, growling, head darting around and ears perked up as it tried to find them again. Sparkle looked to Twilight. "Small hops," she said. "Try teleporting only a full feet away. Looks like we'll overshoot and go 100 instead. And this race is random, but it's better than nothing." "Okay, so now what?" Lunamoon demanded, setting her own horn glowing. 100 feet away, an illusion of the 3 of them appeared, and the glamours began to run away swiftly from them, hopefully buying them time to distracting the Ursa Major. "We can't teleport up there. Climbing is too slow, and we'll be noticed." "I could give us one of 7 wings," Twilight said as the 3 began running again, trying to stay behind the Ursa. "I wish I had 7 wings right now. It would be really helpful." "It's a really exhausting spell to cast, and the wings are really delicate, but I think it's our only option." "Okay, so magic some up," Lunamoon demanded. "That pony—" "She needs a name," Sparkle pointed in. Lunamoon ignored her. "That pony might not want to kill Trixie, but you'd be surprised at what you can live through." I can't just conjure them up, Twilight said. It'll take me a few minutes. We'll be sitting ducks, and I can only do it one at a time. I'll probably be too exhausted afterwards to do a second set. So you need a distraction, Sparkle said, horn glowing. I could do that. Wait. Little Moon began to eject. It was too late, however. Sparkle disappeared in a flash and a pop, even as Little Moon and Twilight slowed to a stop. Imbecile! Little Moon cursed. How are we supposed to find her after this? Twilight bit her lip, but Sarah horn glowing, staring at Little Moon. Worry about that later. I'll be too tired after the spell. You can turn invisible. You'll be the one flying. Yay. Little Moon intoned, praising herself. Sparkle reappeared thousands of feet away, 6 feet in the air, moving forward at a disturbing, though likely not fatal speed. Fortuitously, a helpful tree branch was in the way of her movement. It stopped her by snagging her in the face. She cried out as he was sent tumbling to the ground. Picked her up only slowly, shaking her head. I don't like teleporting anymore, she breathed as she stood, looking around. It wasn't hard to spot the Ursa Major. She was now directly in front of it, though hidden by tree branches. Sparkle took in a deep breath, centering herself as she spread her legs and braced. The tip of her horn, she began gathering raw magical power. It started off as a bead, only inches across. Bigger, Twilight thought, pumping more power into her magic. The bead grew in size to be nearly as large as her. Grunting, the magic swelled several more times to as large as Trixie's wagon had been. It did the size of a small house, before finally topping out to the size of the Golden Oaks Library. By this time, Sparkle was sweating despite the cold of the night, struggling to maintain its magic. With a grunt, she swung her head back and shoved it forward, sending her magic flying. The Ursa Major noticed her, of course, as he had gathered magic and took a small step forward. Ward surprised when Twilight's orb of pure force came flying at its face. However, rear and back in surprise, but that only brought it a moment before the magic came crashing into its chest. It roared in pain and stumbled backwards a few steps before growling low, its purple evanescence suddenly taking on an angry tone, and swiftly its red. Bear advanced on 2 legs angrily. Twilight Sparkle thought, closing her eyes to teleporting again. The whirl carried her to one of the areas that the Ursa had stomped flat in advance. She tumbled over the tree branches and evacuated roots, landing eventually against a clump of dirt and snow, so small a number of stones. Standing on sinking hooves and glancing around, Sparkle saw the Ursa Major only a few hundred feet away. He was glancing around for her, dropping down back to 4 legs, but didn't see Sparkle given how close she was. Sparkle decided to go for quantity rather than quality this time. She couldn't do any more than annoy the Ursa Major anyway. She summoned magic to her horn and sent it flying out in many bursts as she could. Bright stabs of lavender light would have stunned a normal pony senseless. It was several moments before the Ursa Major even noticed him, and that was, Sparkle suspected, only because of the light show it created. It turned to her, growling deeply and swiping a paw with far more speed than Sparkle was comfortable with. Big things move that fast! She ejected mentally as she closed her eyes and teleported. The Royal launched her through the air this time, as he appeared right over the Ursa Major, beginning to fall almost immediately. She cried out in surprise, teleporting again without thinking. That was a mistake. The Royal that the between space had become had her popped back into existence, moving far too fast. Just as she had enough time to register something blue directly in front of her before smacking it. Then, everything was black. Twilight gasped as the spell finally concluded, falling to the shaking hocks and knees and swaying from the effort. Little Moon came forward instantly, using telekinesis and muzzle to help her stand. You've got to hide, she said. I'm not that out of it, she said, standing on her own as Little Moon began to help her trot away. Twilight stumbling only a little. Hey, what do you think? Little Moon glanced at her back. She had given her cape to Twilight, so nothing blocked her view of a brand new set of wings. They were clear and vain, like they belonged to a dragonfly, singed only slightly green. Nice, she admitted, taking off her hat and setting her own horn glowing. She put her most familiar spell into the fabric, and then set it on top of Twilight's head. To her eyes, Twilight seemed to make it take on a blue glow, but to anybody else, and hoped by any bear else, she'd be completely invisible. Okay, when I've rescued Trixie, I'll set off some fireworks. Just shoot some magic into the air so I can find you. Twilight nodded. Be careful, she insisted. Those wings are made for gossamer morning dew. They're delicate. Little Moon nodded, turning around, giving her wings an experimental flutter. Like any proper transportation spell at sea, the knowledge of how to use those wings correctly came with the wings themselves. She wouldn't need flying lessons. Leaving an invisibility spell around herself, she took to the air, flying straight at the Ursa Major. Was by now turned slightly so that Lunaverse was now approaching the bear from its side rather than behind. Flying closer and closer only seemed to continuously re-emphasize how massive the bear really was. From one shoulder to the other, the Ursa was larger than Ponyville's town square. Setting herself down between the shoulder blades, Lunaverse found herself amongst a sea of translucent strands of fur. Thick carpet nearly as tall as she was. The body beneath her was similarly translucent and glowing, so she could just make out the forest floor. Okay, Lunaverse said, galloping for a brief moment, being thankful that the Ursa Major was so large. Probably couldn't notice her moving across its back. The bear remained on all four paws as Lunaverse ran, making her gallop her neck relatively easily. She checked her run, however, when she neared the top. She saw the deep blue, murderous pony grinning widely as she looked around the forest floor for her quarry along with the Ursa Major. She paced back and forth, scarcely by her head, and her host was Trixie, held in place by a deep blue aura, and looking scared out of her mind, but otherwise basically unhurt. Unicorns! She exclaimed in a sing-song voice as Lunaverse approached, her voice almost as loud as the Ursa's roar, sounding like thousands of copies speaking in her unison. Come out and play! Anytime I get to do a Warriors reference is a good day for me. Lunaverse grimaced, closing her eyes a moment as she conjured up her magic sight, wanting to have an idea of what she was fighting. She opened her eyes, looked at the pony, and nothing. What? Lunaverse asked her beneath her breath. Lunaverse could see the murderous pony, of course. The magic spell didn't render her otherwise blind, but the pony didn't glow in any way. She was inert as rock. More inert, in fact, for a while, the gold and silver strands of magic would permeate and pass through her rock. With this pony, they almost seemed to flow around and shun her. If you don't come out, the pony said in her still singing voice, I'm going to burn this whole forest down. How? Lunaverse demanded quietly. She didn't have any magic. She shouldn't have been able to cast any spells at all. Then Lunaverse saw it, only because she was using her magic sight to look at it. The tip of the pony's horn, there was a flash. Not quite there, but like the opposite of a flash, as her horn seemed to tear a hole straight into reality itself. For a brief second, Lunaverse found herself looking absolutely, positively nothing. Then, all of a sudden, the gold and silver streamers of magic that flowed through the air seemed to rush in towards the gap, falling like water in a bathtub after the plug had been pulled. Just like that, at the end of her pony's horn, there came a massive fireball. The pony swung her head, and really was bent once again, opening a line of fireball at the tip of her horn to the infantry far below. The firefall sawed off the horn in reality, falling in until it landed and detonated. But there at least, it looked like a normal spell. Trixie was right, Lunaverse thought as she began inching forward, though extremely reluctantly after what she had just saw. She doesn't cast spells. She tears spell-shaped holes in the universe, and magic rushes in to fill the gap. That's why she's so powerful. She's not really, but she can just tear right holes and do anything she wants. Lunaverse shuddered at that. She already knew that she wasn't capable of challenging a spellcasting prodigy like Twilight sparkle spell for spell. Against a pony like this, who had access to basically limitless magic of the world itself, there was only one thing she could do. The pony lost another fireball, then another. They were well away from where Twilight was, and Lunaverse could only hope that she was missing Sparkle too. Grimacing what she had to do, Lunaverse crept forward another few feet, making sure she had a clear run, and then charged forward. The murderous pony never noticed her approach. For all her access to power, she wasn't expecting an invisible attack, and so could do nothing when Lunaverse's charge ended with slamming one shoulder into her. The pony cried out in surprise, stumbling away on uneven hooves, eyes wide, her expression of malice finally changing one to shock. Lunaverse didn't give her a chance to recover, as she charged forward again, slamming her front hooves into the pony's side and sending her reeling backwards again, till one of her hooves slipped, and she found herself tearing backwards against empty air. Having reached the edge of the Ursa Major's head, Lunaverse started to advance to give a final push, but there was never a chance, as the pony fell before Lunaverse could do anything else. With a single, startled yell, the pony fell out of sight. Lunaverse was certain that if she wasn't running on adrenaline determination, she would have been disgusting and just murdered somebody, even this one. As it stood, however, she unwrapped her invisibility spell from herself as she came over to Trixie's side. While beneath them, the Ursa Major roared. Trixie was already beginning to stand on shaking hose, eyes wide. "Come on!" Lunaverse exclaimed. Across her wings, flaring to the head beneath them to get tilt, the Ursa Major began to rise on his legs. "We have to get going before the Ursa—" "You tried to kill me." Lunaverse didn't know why she was even surprised, but as she turned around, looking at where the pony had fallen, rising through the air on feather wings was like that of a Pegasus. The pony glared hatred down at Lunaverse as she saw it all delighted on the bear's head again. Her smile disappeared. She seemed taller somehow as well. "You don't kill me," the pony roared. "That's not how it works. You don't kill me. I kill you!" The pony then moved, wings being once carrying her forward against the Lunaverse, hoof lasting out and casting her across the face. Lunaverse cried out in surprise as he sent reeling down to the bear's head, even as he heard a series of snaps and cracks from just behind her, the conjured wings shattering and dissolving into nothingness. She tried to rise, but there was a hoof on her face, pressing her down. "Get off of her!" Trixie exclaimed. Having risen fully, she charged forward, trying to help, but the pony stopped her with a single bug from one of her hind legs to Trixie's chest, sending her sprawling. "I'm just trying to have a good time, Trixie," the pony said, "but you're making it very hard for me." The pony sighed. "I'll kill you, Trixie. I kill you, 'cause I am heat. I am a black pit that will tear open reality itself to kill you and everything you love. I am your antithesis." The pony gasped, backing away suddenly. Luna groaned as she picked herself up, Trixie doing likewise. The pony was staring down, darting around, eyes before a wide-mouthed smile came to creep on her face. "I like it," she said quietly. "I like it. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's my name." The pony's horn flashed, and before she could do anything, Lunaverse found herself in a seize on a telekinetic aura and swung around, colliding with Trixie. Before the two of them forced her, the bear's head began. The two fought to try and free themselves, but couldn't. As the pony turned around, it stomped down the length of the bear's head, so she could look over the edge. "You hear that, Twilight?" the pony roared. "I have a name now. I am Antithesis!" She laughed aloud as her horn glowed as she got off more fireballs. Her maniac joy only died when she seemed to notice something approaching in the sky. Glancing herself, Lulu saw a trio of lights approaching, leaving a trail of shattered sound in her wake. And the one forming a rainbow, two in a line of stardust. "Luna!" she exclaimed brightly, feeling hope for the first time in what felt like forever, as she led up to the newly christened Antithesis. Far from looking or worried, Antithesis still had the same smile on her face. "You're not really thinking of finding Luna, are you?" Luna demanded. "Luna, in this world's Celestia, and I can only guess that other Stardust Trail is this world's Luna too. I don't care how powerful you are. No unicorn has a mask for 3 alicorns." This is a still eyes at Lunaverse, smile widening as she flapped her wings several times, its arrow horn glowing. Suddenly, it occurred to Lunaverse that they did not. In fact, it looked like they were made out of gossamer warring dew, as her wings had been. Lunaverse gasped as a dark thought entered her mind. This smile widened to impossible proportions as she took to the air, leaving Trixie and Lunaverse standing on top of an increasingly angry bear. Teleporting to Camelot to Everfree Forest hadn't worked. There was some kind of magical storm over the forest, causing no damage to the physical world, but turning the between space and teleporting into a chaotic roil that couldn't be pierced. The figures had tried, instead found themselves chaotically thrown miles off course, to the other side of the Everfree Forest, over a sea of tranquility that had bordered. Fight had only been the option for Nair, but they had lost several valuable minutes. Celestia buried her confusion at the roil, and at the mere presence of such a large star beast to begin with. And not to see the real threat until it was almost too late. Swinging from the bear at speed, Celestia thought only of herself and her sister. By extension, the other Luna was capable of, as a blue-purple bolt that swiftly realized it was a winged unicorn pony. The glide hind legs first at the interloping Luna, knocking her from the sky into the forest below. Celestia checked her flight, wings flaring at the top of her supersonic speed to advance toward the bear. Her sister did likewise, but a glance between the sisters was all it took to convey to Luna that she would handle this, and her little sister would deal with the Ursa Major. A Tansensi was far more suited than the Celestia anyway, due to her natural affinity with star beasts. Luna nodded once and shot off. Celestia turned to the newcomer, and licked her lips even as her eyes remained narrow.
Hello, she said. I am a physicist.
Ooh, I like being able to do that. Introduce myself.
I'm you.
Celestia glanced down at the ground. The ear-loping Luna was picking herself up now, taking wing again. She looked basically unhurt, but surprised and angry. I don't know why you attacked us, Celestia said evenly, but I will give you one chance to stand down. Seize behind the Ursa Major, Luna said as she joined Celestia in the sky. Celestia glanced quizzically at Luna, who shook her mane. I doubt that you are unrelated in any event.
Oh no, not at all,
The physicist said. See, I needed to find a way to get Trixie and Twilight, and I found this sleeping Ursa Major and thought to myself,
yes, Ursa Major. She's right. Here we are.
Celestia's eyes narrowed. She didn't need to ask when Antithesis whined with her student and the other unicorns. The reason was obvious as the half-mile tall bear, her little sister, was now gazing. Surrender now, Celestia insisted. Antithesis' horn glowed, not any color of the rainbow, but instead jet black.
No.
Suit yourself, Luna said, beating her wings, Celestia doing likewise. The two had backed away from each other on instinct, then turned and closed in on Antithesis from opposite sides. The pony remained hovering in the air, raising either front hoof out to her side. By the way, she said as her horn seemed to suck in all light, challenged her resultantly dishless a pair of jet black orbs, each large enough for an alicorn on either side of her. I guess you thought that I was just some winged unicorn on a parrot trip. Celestia blinked to check her charge and the utter confidence in the Antithesis still had. Antithesis glanced her way, even as the orbs of blackness lost themselves in Celestia and Luna. I'm not, she said. The orbs moved too fast, and the two alicorns would have fell into their orbs as they could react. Celestia, for the first time in her very long life, found herself face to face with nothing. An utter lack of nothing but her that seemed to pull away at the very fabric of her existence and trying to utterly annihilate her. It hurt, to say the least. It was only through willpower that the more ancient that anything walked the earth that she did not scream. The same willpower devoted to simply keeping herself real and whole and existing. When the utter nothing had last receded, however, she found herself deranged, she fell to the forest below. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw Luna imprinted in her predicament. The two alicorns righted themselves, only in time to check their falls and lay in a tumbling heap on the forest floor.
I'm not really a pony at all, actually.
This is his voice explained. Celestia and Luna landed only a few feet apart. Both immediately struggled to their hosts, glancing at each other. Neither felt pain like that in centuries. Looking into each other's eyes, they both knew exactly when the last time the other had felt that kind of pain was. Neither were any means out of this fight, but slowly became more significantly serious in engagement. Antithesis landed, wings spread wide, and horn pulsing black as she conjured up more orbs of nothing all around her, sending to orbits around herself.
But if I was, I'd be an alicorn.
Sparkle woke with something rough, yet wicked sticky running across her face. Not a pleasant way to wake up. As far as she shook her head. What was that? She rubbed her foot across her face. It came away with something that looked like nothing, so much as saliva. Sparkle cried out in disgust. Horns closed slightly as she ran a cleaning spell over herself. Then a second time and a third. It was only then that something occurred to her to be covered in saliva. Something had to have been licking her. Something big, frozen mid-casting, eyes wide as a dare place. Sparkle turned her head, found herself face to face with a large pair of yellow eyes, set against a blue, translucent, star-studded coat. The coat of a bear that was larger than a house. Sparkle screamed, and the Ursa Minor roared.
Uh-oh,